So welcome back to my channel. I hope you're doing so well as always. If you watch my channel or if you watched my previous video, then obviously you know that this video is my full 2024 fashion trend predictions. And honestly, these are always my favorite videos to make just because I get to look at what's going on in the zeitgeist. I get to look at fashion weeks and the runways and also just kind of digital culture and see what's trending and basically determine what is going to inform the trends that we see in the up and coming months. And basically I was just at London Fashion Week, which took place last week, and then now obviously we've gone into Milan and then we have Paris after that. Not that these will directly impact fall, of course, because I believe this was spring summer, but really I just think there's been so many huge fashion moments this year, basically coming off the runway, coming off of Fashion Week, and truly this is what determines the trends that we see, just because it does have an impact on digital culture because of the social media coverage, and also basically retailers and high street brands do copy what is going on in the luxury runway, so it does trickle down into the trends that we see. So that's basically how I determine my fashion trend predictions, and that is very much how I'm determining these full fashion trend predictions that I'm going to talk about today. But honestly, I am really excited to talk about these because I think they are going to be so huge for fall. It's really things that we haven't seen trend yet, so really excited to share these with you. And the first trend that is definitely about to absolutely take off is Countrysidecore. And if you look at Miu Miu and Fendi, we did see a general kind of wholesome outdoorsy way of dressing really be featured on the runways. Specifically within trend forecasting reports, this barn type jacket is really being highlighted. So more than wax jackets, more than anything else, it's really all about this barn jacket. And I really think we're going to see so many iterations of this. This specific piece is really just going to be a trending item for fall 2024. And it's funny because I saw this post from Highsnobiety basically highlighting a few runways that have taken place this year or the recent fashion week. And really this image, I believe it's a JW Anderson runway with this kind of boxy jacket with the mini shorts. This is how I see this trend coming to life. So wearing a traditional heritage countryside jacket but with really mini shorts and probably boots but with tights. I've actually already seen a few people wear this outfit around London, so I really do see this trend specifically with the barn jacket coming to life in this way. So definitely keep a lookout for that, but really it's all about this jacket specifically. The next most significant and most noteworthy trend that I think we're going to see for fall is boho. And it's not boho like we've seen it before, like how you think about boho. It's kind of boho reimagined for the fall. And the reason that I think this is going to be such a huge trend that really dominates the aesthetics that we do see in fall 2024 is all because of the Chloe fall 2024 runway that took place in February this year. And this was just such an iconic runway, to be honest, because it basically marked the arrival of Chloe's new creative director, Chimina Kamali, who basically joined the Maison following Gabriella Hearst's departure. And the influence for this boho aesthetic that she's created has really come from her background being German, but also living and socializing in LA. So it's really a mixture of a lot of different influences. And again, similar to Countrysidecore, the reason that this runway is going to have such an impact on the fall fashion trends is literally just because of the media attention it got. And it was just marketed so well, basically. And also just such a stunning runway, stunning collection, and a very sort of authentic creative direction for Chloe specifically. And because of that, retailers are obviously going to jump on it. I think we already saw some sparks of boho aesthetics coming in, but for fall, because this was obviously a fall runway collection, we are going to see this heavily influence what we see around and circulating in terms of fashion products and aesthetics. And specifically, this is things like brown slouchy bags, also kind of lacy tops like this, lacy dresses. Of course, cowboy boots do fit into this, but also ruffles, chiffon. Not only this, but we did also see fringe on the Roxanda runway and also in this Erdem collection as well. And I just basically think that the styling from these collections, but also the color palettes and accessories, is such a refreshing new inspiration for a fall wardrobe. And then the next thing that I wanted to mention is just the prints that we're going to see in fall, because obviously throughout this year we've seen a lot of cheetah print. It's kind of been the overarching print in a way that has dominated the trends throughout the year so far. But in fall, apparently we're going to see a lot of cow print and also snake print, which I was quite surprised to read about. But for the cow print specifically, I think we're going to see this mainly in accessories, not in this artificial synthetic kind of graphic of cow print, but really this kind of faux, hopefully cowhide, or kind of mimicking a real cow fur. I think that's what we are going to see in this trend. And to be honest, with the snake print, I think it's really early days for this print, so I'm excited to see how it does crop up, but I think we could see it in jackets or as well in accessories and bags, in shoes, things like this. The next thing I want to talk about is probably my personal favorite, just because it really speaks to my aesthetic sensibilities basically and what I enjoy wearing. And these are interesting and exaggerated collars on outerwear. And I do personally think we have already seen this trend a bit this year already, just because I think loads of people are getting into archive shopping and buying kind of very minimal but interesting pieces. And for me, these kind of collars and these kind of jackets with interesting details through the collar really captures this way of dressing that I think has been a trend this whole year. It was basically seen on the Carven runways, also on Chanel. Acne Studios have also done versions of this, and I believe it was also on the Rock runways as well. And personally, I just think that these big brands are tapping into what was kind of bubbling up in the micro trends, in the underground trends, because in my personal opinion, this kind of design feature has really come from vintage pieces. I've seen so many jackets like this crop up on NHO Girl or just various archive showrooms that I've seen and also been shopping at. So I personally think it's come from that, but I'm still not mad about it. And personally, I think this is such a cool way to elevate your outerwear for fall. And then the next one's quite a random one, but I only mention it because I have genuinely started to see people wear hoodies or jackets like this around London. And it's basically these reworked structured hoodies. And basically it's hoodies similar to this that was seen on the Valentino Fall 24 runway, and also this hoodie that was seen on the Gucci Fall 24 runway as well. And I don't know if I'm necessarily the biggest fan of this if it comes in kind of a jersey fabric or if it looks too much like a typical hoodie, because personally I think the point of a hoodie is that it's not structured, is that it's loose and comfortable. But I do like this in a jacket. I think it could look really cool in a denim jacket if a denim jacket had and adopted this kind of hoodie silhouette and then did it in this structured way. Personally, I think that would be really cool, and that's how I would wear it. A similar one to this that I wanted to mention briefly is just these barrel leg jeans. Again, this is probably a bit more of a mainstream trend, a high street trend, but I do think that we are going to see more of this silhouette. Of course, we're also going to see bag charms, bag accessories continue to be really popular. It's funny because at the start of this year, this was really kind of an underground micro trend. Again, I do think it's a really fun way to personalize your bag, personalize your pieces, and definitely does add a cool element to your outfit. So I'm definitely still a big fan of charms and accessorizing your accessories, and why not have specific accessories for fall. Something else I did want to mention, just because I've seen it spoken about a lot, is burgundy. I'm personally not a real fan of burgundy. I never have been, but I just have to think about how much burgundy was a trend last year, or it was kind of this plum purple and also red that was really a trend last year. But apparently the main color for fall 24 is going to be burgundy. So do with that what you will, and let me know if you like burgundy. Personally, I can't see myself ever wearing it, but I think it is going to be an overarching kind of mainstream trend. And then the final big thing that I wanted to mention, and to be honest, this is something again that I've mentioned in previous trend forecasting reports, but on the runway we are really starting to see a lot of influence from the 80s. This is really when you start to think about drop waist dresses or these bubble skirts, bubble hems that have been such a huge thing this year already, and I think we're only going to see the full iterations of them. To be honest, honest, it was really heavily still featured on the 2025 runways that we've just seen in New York and London. So I think you only have to think of people like Sandy Liang, but also actually the Stella McCartney and Namelia runways featured these kind of really big shoulders, which again are quite representative of the 80s. So I think this is really something that we are going to see influence the trends. And to be honest, I'm not really sick of bubble skirts yet. I'm not sick of drop waist silhouettes, but I do think it would be cool to bring a full twist or a winterized version of this, whatever that may look like. And then the final two things I want to mention are more for novelty, they're more for fun, but nevertheless could be a trend that we see in fall 24. And the first one is Sailor Moon references. Of course, this is coming literally all from the Ashley Williams 2025 runway that we just saw in London. Again, I just think this is such a fun design reference, such fun motifs. And it's funny because also I believe Jimmy Choo is either doing a collaboration or coming out with products with a very similar theme or aesthetic. So who knows, we could see Sailor Moon really be a trend. Let me know if you would want to see that. And then the last thing that I wanted to mention is, of course, the Oasis reunion. Just like any big kind of pop culture moment that happens in a year, obviously, this is going to have an impact on the fashion trends that we see. And honestly, I think Oasis is undoubtedly so iconic. So I think this is undoubtedly going to have some kind of impact on the fashion trends. Of course, you could literally say that we're going to see outerwear or bucket hats. It's hard to know exactly the literal influence that the Oasis reunion is going to have on true fashion trends. Of course, there's going to be merch. Of course, there's going to be kind of commercial trends that we see, but I don't know, it'll be interesting to see if this does have a knock-on effect. Let me know if that's something that you would want to see, or maybe it'll just fit into other trends that are going on like indie sleaze, things like that. But that was really it in terms of all of my fall 2024 fashion trends. Again, I really do think that we are going to see these take off in the next couple of months, so I'm personally really excited. Like I said, my favorite one of these trends is probably the interesting collars, but I'm also really excited to see more of this revived bohemian aesthetic as well. Also, some heritage countryside pieces are always great for fall as well, so I'm definitely going to be looking at those for my wardrobe. But definitely let me know what you think of these trends, and of course, until the next one, have an amazing day. Bye.